Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us today. We have a really great webinar with Sunya Folayan, and it is called Entrepreneurship Basics for Human Service Providers. We're glad that you are interested in this topic and think that you will know a great deal more at the end of this training. I'm Rita Wolfson. I am the founder and creator of Financial Social Work and the Financial Social Work discipline, and also the Financial Therapy Network. Sunya will introduce herself in a few minutes, but go ahead and say hi, Sunya.
Hello.
Okay, so let's get started. We are going to start with a poll so that we on this end know more about you in the audience. So let's get going. We want to know who's in our audience today. So I am going to launch this poll. Now, if you don't fit into one of these categories, go ahead and let us know in the question box who you are and possibly why you decided to join us. So I see that about 70% of you have voted, have indicated. Well, that's great. Wow. It's exciting because there's so much material that we could have included today. But what I love about what Sunya has put together for this training is how she ties it in and relates it to the work we all do right now, rather than just automatically going to creating websites and Twitter accounts. Okay, so 80% of you have voted. I'm going to count down to from 5 to make sure if anybody else wants to vote, and then I can take a quick look to see if any of you also added other categories that weren't here. So let me 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I will close it and I will share it with you. So this is very interesting to me. This is great. Okay, so we have a good cross section of attendees. Now, let me just take a quick look in the question box. Okay, financial coach. Okay, that's the only other category anybody added. Okay, so let me go ahead and close this poll and hide it and get going. So we know when we have such terrific registrations that there are always attendees who are new to financial social work. So we like to tell you a little bit about who we are and why we do what we do and sponsor these free webinars every month. We know I created all of this over the past 19 years, and we all know at the Center for Financial Social Work that financial problems are about much more than money. We need to help clients understand their relationship with their money and with themselves, because it's our relationship with money that drives financial behavior for our clients as well as for each of us. And our financial behavior is how we earn, spend, save, share, and borrow. And it is our financial behavior that determines our financial circumstances. It took me many years to come up with this particularly simple equation, which obviously there's nothing simple about it, but I do want to point out that it is between our financial behavior and our financial circumstances where behavioral financial change happens. And that kind of sums up what financial social work is all about. Because dollars and cents do not make financial choices. It's our inner money self that makes financial decisions. So take a second and say hello to your own inner financial self, your inner money self. We all have one. And the more connected we are with it, the more our financial well being will benefit. Our financial circumstances originate from within the money self. Our money self includes that psychosocial component, our thoughts, feelings, and actions with money and with ourselves, how we deal with those and cope with them. And this great quote, money is not the problem, it is our relationship with our money that is. And that's something we very strongly believe. So, just a few slides on financial behavioral change. Financial well being requires a healthier money self because someone with a healthier money self engages more readily, is more hopeful, is more eager to change, and more prepared to succeed. So that's how it circles back to a healthier money self. And financial well being requires that healthier money self. And these are just some of the components that the financial social work certification incorporates well beyond dollars and cents and the basics of money management because we look at personal and financial boundaries, at behavioral change, inner strength, self acceptance. These are all very relevant. And we incorporate not only help, but hope and positivity and motivation in order that each of our students and graduates, as well as all of our clients, are able to make peace with their money, just as this graphic demonstrates. So, an overview of financial social work model shows that it is ongoing financial education, motivation, validation, and support. It's active, introspective, and strengths-based. It works individually and or with groups. And I'd like to point out for anyone in the audience that's unfamiliar with financial therapy that there is such a category and that we need to be more prominent as a part of financial therapy. So we will turn this over to Sunya in about a minute and a half after we do this second poll. Let me bring it up. I'm interested in your responses to this. So, how many of you in our audience have ever dreamed of having their own business or being their own boss? Okay. About 50% of you have voted. 65, 70. Okay. You are a good sharing audience. And we do have one category leading the others. And I wonder if you can figure out which one that is. So 82% of you have voted. I will go ahead and count it down and share the results with you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 84% of you shared your feelings on that. And the winner, as you can see, that just under 50% of you have always wanted to become or dreamed of having your own business. And I certainly expected that that would be the majority of our audience, along with the 36% of you that have thought of it pretty frequently. So I'm glad all of you are here and hope that you're going to learn a lot that will prepare you to move ahead with this goal. Okay, so let me go ahead and turn this over to Sunya. Okay, here we go, Sunya.
Good afternoon. I believe I'm up now. Am I up now?
No,
All right. Hang
I
on.
don't see you.
I don't see you either.
Okay, now you're up.
Okay.
All right. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Thank you so very much. I am absolutely delighted to be on this webinar today with my friend and mentor, Rita Wolfson and Dorlee. I'm Sunya Folayan, and I am a serial entrepreneur. My background is in social work and also into the newly emerging discipline of human services. So I'm really excited to be able to talk to my friends and family today about entrepreneurship basics for human service professionals. And okay. Before we get started with the overview, I want to share a little bit about myself. I am the quintessential introvert. If you go to any textbook description of an introvert, you will see me front and center. I am not shy by any means. I love people, but I really, really, really am very inner directed. And I really love being by myself. I love being able to control my own space. I've been that way since a child. I spent a lot of time by myself as a child, but I was never a lonely child. And in my early career as a social worker, I was working at a human services organization, and one year we were looking at the pay scale, and it occurred to me that that day I knew exactly how much I would be able to earn 20 years from now based upon the pay scale, and I just thought that was just absolutely ridiculous. So I believe it was the very next week I went to the community college and took a basic business finance course, and I opened a private practice. And I worked in my private practice for many, many years part-time. And over the years, I've had a number of side projects, other entities. I've found a way to sort of monetize the things that I really love to do and ways that help me to make a difference in the world. And so that's what I really want to talk to you all about. I'm very excited about entrepreneurship. For me, it has absolutely been able to help me maintain my own sense of freedom. And the other thing that I know about myself is I don't do well working for other people for very long. So knowing those things about myself and what I want to do, and the fact that I don't like anyone imposing a ceiling over whatever I can do, I knew that entrepreneurship was going to be the route for me. So today we're going to talk about when and how to get started. We want to talk a little bit about the unique characteristics of human service professionals, because you all are awesome and have really a number of traits that really predispose you to business. We want to talk a little bit about part-time versus full-time entrepreneurship, the benefits of business ownership, and the specific benefits of a home-based business, business tax advantages, increasing income streams, and funding retirement. The definition of entrepreneurship is the capacity and willingness to develop, organize, and manage a business venture along with any of its risks in order to make a profit. And the most obvious example of entrepreneurship is starting a new business. So let's talk about just really how awesome you all are and what characteristics you naturally bring to the table that really are the foundation for establishing any good business. First of all, human service professionals are interdisciplinary. We know early on how to work with other people. We're used to sitting down at a table, sharing ideas with, when we work in treatment teams. We're used to writing reports. We have to present ourselves in clear language that can be understood across disciplines because we're working for a common goal. So our interdisciplinary nature and our ability to work together, all of those sort of help us to have a good mindset for working with other people and diverse people in terms of business, because we can't be in business alone. Even though we are in charge of our business, we have to have other people to be in business. We love to empower other people. It's our absolute joy to be able to take knowledge and information and give that to a family or put it into a community, and then to begin to see it become self-sustaining. It's so important for us that we do that. And that is also the nature of business. We want to develop goods and products and services that will enable our customers and clients to function even better than before they met us. We know that human service workers are courageous. How many times have you heard someone say to you, you know what, I don't know that I could do the work that you do. I don't know that I have what it takes. And what we know is that in this day and time, we're working with customers and clients and consumers who have increasingly complex problems and issues. And many times we're working in agencies and environments that have diminishing resources. So it's up to us to provide the magic to get the work done, to maintain hope, and to help our clients get to the next level. So we have to be courageous and brave, really, just to do the work that we do. Of course, empathy is very important, understanding people where they are, accepting them where they are. Do you know this very key component is absolutely the hallmark of customer service? So having an empathetic heart and mind really helps us a long way in terms of being able to address our customers' needs. Of course, we're organized. We have to have a plan of action. We certainly have to be able to do research for the clients that we're working on, or whatever the particular issue is that we're working on in our communities. We have paperwork that needs to be done, deadlines. We have all sorts of legal records that have to be attended to, keeping our own certifications together. We have to be able to put our hands on information at a moment's notice. We have to understand the legal laws. All of that organization, all those organization skills that you use on a daily basis are absolutely essential in establishing, running, and maintaining and sustaining any business. Of course, we're responsible, and being able to accept responsibility for the work, being able to put in the time that's needed, getting the job done above and beyond what the hours will require. Having that sense of purpose, of course, is also needed in business. We're open-minded, again, interdisciplinary. We work with other people. We have a strong sense and respect for diversity, other people's opinions, keeping an open mind. But guess what? Having an open mind is also absolutely essential when you're looking for new business opportunities, when you are looking for that idea, when you want to find a way to express yourself in the marketplace. You've got to be open to what comes. Being flexible, again, we've talked a little bit about that. Sometimes we work in very difficult circumstances. Even when we have fully funded organizations, or the finances are not an issue, very seldom is our work strictly 9 to 5. Sometimes we have to take work home. Sometimes we have to do far above and beyond even what our paychecks will support. Ethics is very important, from our code of ethics in our respective professions, being able to be morally sound in our decisions, being able to operate from a sense of values and perspective, being able to have our word mean something, being able to have a client know that they can trust us is absolutely gold. And guess what? That's the kind of word and respect and understanding that we want to have in the marketplace. We want our businesses to stand for something. We want them to be value-based. We want to give goods and service based upon our ethical perspective and framework. Being committed to our ongoing personal and professional growth, just as all of you are on this webinar today. You're on this webinar today because you want more information. We have to be willing to invest in our education. We have to be willing to invest in what the latest innovations are. Many of us, we are at various ages on this webinar right now. But when I started out, technology was not nearly as important as it is now. So I've had to make a commitment to get myself up to speed with what's happening in technology because it's changing day to day. We all have areas of expertise and interest. We've had to study and research and put time in order to be able to help our clients, whether we're working with HIV or mental health, whether we're working with disability services, aging, whether we're working with people who are dying, whether we're working in a hospital setting, education. We have specific areas of knowledge that we have had to invest in, and we have to continue to invest. And it's the same with our businesses. We have to know what the trends are in the marketplace, and we have to be always willing and prepared to make the investments in taking ourselves and our businesses to the next level. So all of these wonderful, wonderful traits that we all have, these are the very, very traits, the very same traits that successful business owners have. So when and how do we begin? How do we start? How do we take this desire that most of us have to have a small business, and what do we do? How do we get it from here to making it real? Well, let's consider whether starting a business is indeed right for you. I can say that one of the things that needs to happen is having a desire to do so, being able to think about it, to consider it, being open. That's a really good place to start. But I have 7 basic questions to help you decide. So if we're ready, let's talk about the first question. Question 1, do you like operating independently, and are you comfortable making decisions and taking on responsibility? Now, I've already shared with you that this is where I live. This is where I live. I mean, I love I love that. This is me all over. I mean, when I fail big, and I take responsibility for that. But when I win big, and guess what? I get to take responsibility for that too. So that's a very, very important question to ask yourselves. Number 2, are you willing to work hard and make sacrifices, which is a requirement for starting a small business? It's not going to be the same as working in an agency where someone pretty much tells you what your work is going to be or how you're going to do it. You're going to be in the driver's seat, and it does require a work ethic to get your dream out the door and up and running. And are you willing? Is your dream big enough? Is your why big enough for you to make those sacrifices? It might mean, skipping some performances for your children. It might mean staying up late. It may mean having to rise early. It might mean having to skimp on some things or to save some money. But are you willing to work hard and make sacrifices? Number 3, do you have the self-confidence and self-discipline to persevere to achieve success? Do you have it within you? Do you believe in yourself enough to think that whatever idea you have, are you willing to try? Are you willing to put it out there? Are you willing to put some time and effort behind it? Do you have the self-confidence and belief in yourself and the self-discipline, the work ethic, to persevere to achieve success? Question 4, how well do you handle setbacks? And to me, this is a resilience question. Are you resilient? can you come back? Do you place more emphasis on the fall, or do you place more emphasis on the rise? I place more emphasis on the rise, because every setback is a setup for a comeback if you have that perspective. Number 5. This is one of my most favorite graphics ever. What will be different and special about your business? How will you stand out from the crowd? What we see here are marbles. They're all marbles. They're all the same. They all are doing the same thing, except one stands out. One has a personality that we can see. So we know there's something special about this particular marvel. So how will you stand out from the crowd? Well, one hint is your personality. Your personality is going to be a part of what makes you stand out from the crowd. Number 6. What additional supports will you need to be successful or to get started? I want you to think about this and name them to yourself. Do you need family support? Do you need support from your friends? Do you need to beef up your computer skills? Do you need to take a little small business course? Do you need to look at some certifications? Do you need to, what is it? What might they be? What supports might you need in order to help make the decision for you to pursue that dream that you've been thinking about? Name those things to yourself. And then, are you prepared to get the support that you need? Small Business Association, there's women's associations, there are people who do coaching for people in small business. You know, do you need secretarial service? Do you need a virtual assistant? I mean, the sky's the limit. But it is very important for you to think about, again, what support you're going to need, because as I said earlier, it's going to be your show, it's going to be your boat to row, but none of us can get wealthy alone. So you're going to need some support along the way. Number 7, what is your end game? What's the why? What is it that you want to accomplish? Do you want to leave a legacy for your family? Do you want, at the end of the day, more cash in your pocket? There's nothing wrong with wanting more cash in your pocket, especially since a lot of times human service workers, we're not paid as much as we should be, as much as we deserve to be paid. So maybe part of the why will be to get the rest of that income that you so justly deserve. Is it to set an example? Is it to make a difference in your community? Is it? What is your end game? The question of whether to go full-time or part-time, again, that has a lot to do with you, the time that you have available, and what your resources are. Certainly, as you're starting out in establishing a business, I think it's always great to try your ideas first on a part-time basis. See how things go, how you feel about it. Give yourself a little time to maybe gather some extra resources, save some money, invest in some of those things that we talked about that might help you get further along. Maybe you need to purchase some new equipment. Maybe you have a hobby that you want to develop into a business, and maybe you need to brush up on those skills. So taking your time, I think, is always a good route. And then sometimes, believe it or not, things really escalate and go fast. I mean, sometimes your business can catch on like a fire, and then you have to make a decision. Well, am I going to pursue this more? Do I let something go? So the decision really is entirely up to you, whether you choose full-time or part-time. If you find that you're in a business and things are really, really growing and your tax situation changes, and it may be time to talk to your accountant or your tax preparer and make some decisions. But the main thing is you don't have to make any major decisions like this all at one time. I would say get your feet wet a little bit, see how it feels, and you can always add as you go. But this is your decision, and make it based upon your circumstances and what works for you. So let's review the 7 questions. Do you enjoy operating independently, and are you comfortable taking responsibility for your missteps and successes? Are you willing to work hard and make sacrifices for what you want? Do you have self-confidence and self-discipline? Do you have a good work ethic? Number 4, how well do you handle setbacks? Are you resilient? Number 5, what will be different about your business? What additional support will you need to be successful? And I guess another question, part of this is, are you willing to ask for the support that you need? Number 7, what is your end game? So I'd like you to take a moment and ask which of the above questions is which would be the most challenging question for you to answer today. And if you can, please respond by placing your number in the chat box. So if you know asking for help is a difficult thing for you, then put number 6.
Well, we have okay. First of all, I'm seeing some answers from who was in the audience, and we have some business owners and financial coaches and students, SW students, housing counselors, and then we have number 3, a bunch of number 4s, and number 5, number 6, 5, 3, 5. Interesting. I don't see any 1 or 2s. Okay, so everybody in the audience seems to really like operating independently and taking responsibility for their missteps or successes, and everybody is willing to work hard. Really interesting to me. A lot of 5s and 6s. But I think you did such a great job with this piece, Sunya. There's a 7, and I hope that some of the people in somebody says they can't see the poll. Oh, there's a number 1. 5, 6, and 7. There's a number 2. I hope all of you in the audience are taking a moment to jot down these questions, because they're really the foundation for your decision to, pursue entrepreneurship and to determine your strengths and those areas that you need to build upon. Okay, so go ahead.
And you know what? It makes sense to me that we wouldn't have much problem with 1 or 2, because
Right.
As human service workers, I mean, this is what we do. We are always taking responsibility, and working hard is part of our job description. So I'm not surprised about 1 or 2. But I do think because we are in the position of, where we really are the caretakers of society, and as we know to be true, most caretakers are not the best about asking for support for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suggest to any of you who have that support thing, that number 6 especially, as an issue, to just be honest about it. I have to work on that myself. I do, but it is important. We do need support in everything we do. It's part of our self-care, and as a business owner, you really have to take time out for your self-care and know that having the right support is absolutely essential to helping your business grow. Okay, so I think we're going to move on now. That is, if we're ready to proceed. Are we ready to proceed? I think we're ready to proceed. So every business needs a business plan. And a business plan is a tool that turns your dream and vision to reality. So this is a great graphic. We have to do research. We have to put the word out. We have to decide what our goals are. We have to look at our, all those things. The business plan really is a roadmap that defines what the business is and where it will go over time. Your business plan allows you to clarify the purpose of the business and what needs to be done to grow it over periods of time, because every business has periods of growth. A new startup it's going to take a little while to get your business up and running. You may not see a profit for a while, maybe years before you see a real profit. This is normal and expected. So your business plan is going to allow you to be able to look at where you are and make projections. Your business plan can actually consist of a one-page description of your business, products, and services. As your business grows or as your ideas become more complex, your business plan can be a much lengthier document with detailed descriptions such as your product lines, how you're going to market, what your technology plan might be, your financials, any market analysis, and future projections. Your business plan, we're all human service workers, so we're used to working with a business plan because we do treatment plans all the time. And just as your treatment plan helps you to project how your client is progressing, where you are with your goals, what needs to happen when, your business plan, think of your business plan as sort of a treatment plan for your business. And that business plan is going to tell you where you're going. So here we are at the beginning, contemplating starting a new business. We're at the start line. Let's talk about the tax advantages of entrepreneurship. There are two tax systems in the United States. One tax system is for individuals who work as employees on a W-2, and they are taxed very differently from those who are self-employed on a 1099 and file a Schedule C. There are relatively few tax deductions available to employees. The average taxpayer is only able to claim just a few deductions, such as, your child exemptions, your home mortgage, student loans, charitable deductions, giving, tithing, those kind of things. The tax advantages of having a business, though, are immense because there are literally hundreds of deductions available. So with a business, you can actually deduct your rent, your utilities, cost of maintaining your vehicles, your travel, meals and entertainment, your vacations. You can even get a tax deduction for hiring your children if you employ them in your business. And there are general expenses that most people have. We have them in our lives every day. We pay rent. We have a mortgage. We have all these things. But as a business owner, you can actually write off a significant portion of these expenses. The net effect of this is that you pay less in taxes. Your taxable income is decreased. So you're paying less on your income, and that allows you really to keep more money into your home. Now let's talk a little bit about the red hot trends for business. It's very, very important to have passion, and often following our passions leads to the money. And we've heard that expression, if you follow your heart, the money will follow. And oftentimes that's very true, but it's just not always that simple. Please consider offering goods and services that not only provide value, but solve a problem, a desire, or a need. And so there are some red hot trends right now in business, and they include the areas of health, beauty, and nutrition, financial services, technology and social media, travel, food, and home. We know that we have an aging population, that we have a youth-oriented population. At the same time, we have an aging population. So there's tension right there that creates all sorts of businesses and products and services for sale. We also have some changes going on even in the end-of-life industry. The whole funeral business has changed because people have had very, very innovative ideas now in terms of how to market to this population. Financial services, we have had, there's a reason for the Center for Financial Social Work, because people have not been properly trained and disciplined around money. We are just now seeing some significant shift in how we are handling financial education. As a result of that, because many of us have had a wrecked financial education history, there are lots and lots of problems that need to be corrected, and there's lots of room for us to make interventions there. Technology and social media. Look at the rise in webinars. We're on one right now. Look at how our cell phones change every day. People are developing apps, putting new things on their phones. One of the things that I do, and that I have, one of my businesses, I do sell tax record keeping software, because the trend now is we're moving away from laptops. We're moving away from tablets to where almost everything now is done on the cell phone. Travel, food, and home. Again, with a retiring aging community with some disposable resources, travel industry is big, as is food and home. Food and home is also big because of some changes we've had in the financial sector. Many people are losing their jobs, and so they're improving their home, staying at home, having staycations instead of vacations. So all of these provide opportunities to provide business services.
Sunya, I just want to point out that we need to keep moving. The clock is ticking, and we want to get all the information to everybody.
Well, your nest could be your nest egg. Thank you, Rita. Your nest could be your nest egg. And what do we mean by that? Well, consider having a home-based business, because anyone can qualify to have a home office even without a separate room. So we're going to talk about 5 common tax deductions for your home-based business. Use of your home, personal vehicle, hiring your children, business travel and entertainment, and the use of cell phones. Basically, what I want to say about the use of your home is the deduction that you have is going to be based upon the square footage of your home. So if you measure the square footage of your area of your home, you're going to be able to get a percentage of that in terms of your tax deduction every month. So if you have a 2,000 square foot home, and if, let's say, you section off 200 feet of that, that's going to be a 10% write-off. So if you are paying $1,000 for your mortgage or your lease, then you're going to be able to have a $100 a month tax deduction. Your vehicle. This is your car and transportation deduction. It's the largest single category of tax deductions for many businesses, and I am deliberately showing money going down the drain because this is the one that most people miss, and they're leaving a lot of money on the table. So what I want you to just take for a moment and imagine that you're driving in your car, you have a stack of dollar bills next to you, and for every 2 miles that you drive, if you don't have a business, you just may as well throw $1 out of the window and watch it fly away. Without a business, people are actually losing between $3,000 and $5,000 in tax deductions just from that category alone. So it's significant. We talked about hiring your children a little bit earlier. This is a family employee deduction. And if you've ever, I'm sure many of you have gone to restaurants after school and you've seen children working in the restaurant, clearing off tables, or working at the cash register. Or you've seen dealerships, people using children as advertisement. There's a very, very good reason for that, because you can claim dependent children on your tax return, but not only that, you can hire your children and grandchildren, and you can deduct the wages that you pay them, and that gives you more deductions. And right now, in 2016, that is it's $6,300. So children must be between the ages of 6 and 18 because the IRS wants to know that they are actually working. But you can hire your children to perform a wide range of duties, cleaning your home, setting up, taking down equipment, putting your tax record keeping software into your computer or your cell phone, videotaping, cleaning your home office. All of those things are legitimate deductions that you can hire your children for. You set up a custodial account and the money comes out of their account. So that's just summarizing it again. You can even hire them to maintain your social media accounts. Let's talk about business travel and entertainment just a little bit. You may be able to deduct business-related expenses for the ordinary and necessary expenses of traveling. So travel by train, airplane, bus, car, also train for your business between your home and your business destination. If you need to send baggage or equipment and supplies ahead, you can write that off as well. Your lodging and meals, and your meals include the amount spent for food, beverage, taxes, and tips. If you have to spend the night because you are doing a presentation and you needed to have lodging in order to perform at your best the next morning, that's a tax-deductible expense. You can also write off your dry cleaning and laundry. And there's also a special exclusion for some cruise ship travel, too. You have to talk with your tax professional about that. Your cell phone and electronics are tax deductible. Again, computers, cell phones, all of those things that you need to do your business are a tax write-off. And these are things that you use every day now. But if you don't have a business, you're not able to write it off. So, and also the electronics must be seen as necessary for the work that you're doing. I just want to talk a little bit about documentation and keeping accurate records. The IRS doesn't require that you make a profit, but it does require that you make a reasonable attempt, and I want to talk about that. Maintaining your website fees, your professional association dues, driving your vehicle, attending continuing education to further your business, maintaining accurate records for income and expenses. If you purchase tax record keeping software, or if you buy ledger books, you hire an accountant, all those things are tax deductible. You always check with your tax professional in starting a new business or when in doubt. What makes a real business is you have to make every effort to make a profit, although many businesses we know are not profitable right away. You must create a business plan. You have to implement proper documentation of your expenses, understand your expense categories, and eventually you'll develop a cash flow statement, but that comes down the road. Again, you want to have a system, a manual system or a computerized system of record keeping. If you're hiring your children, you want to create a job description for yourself and your employees, including your children. You will create a W-4, create a file, and file it, although you don't have to send the form in, but you do have to create a job description and a W-4. To become a real business, you want to file your Schedule C with your business or businesses with the IRS each year. Consult with your tax professional when and if you need to pay taxes throughout the year and for tax-related questions related to your business. You want to market. You want to purchase your business cards, utilize your social media, attend meetups, networks with other people about your business. You want to let the world know that you are open and that you really are indeed in business. You want to add additional streams of income for so many reasons. More money in your pocket, increasing the cash flow, eliminating debt, having a peace of mind, having a sense of power and control over where you're going with your future. It's your absolute responsibility as a business owner to drive your own revenue and to keep your costs low. It's okay, especially for human service workers, it's okay for us to have and to make money. When you're at retirement, having a new business can help to add to your retirement funds. Might give you the ability to pay for some extra things that you need, additional insurance, more of an emergency cushion, college fund. You might want to take some trips that you have on your bucket list, spend some time with your grandchildren, or leave a legacy. Again, Having additional streams of income can help boost your bottom line, add greater enjoyment to your lifestyle, increase the return on an investment portfolio. You can start a college fund, supplement your retirement, add your peace of mind, all the things we've talked about. And also it can allow you to monetize a hobby or a side project that you've been nurturing for years, help give you a sense of empowerment. I wanted to refer you to the IRS for publications, and I'm also going to leave my information out as well. So that'll be up for you all to look at, review. You can call me or ask me any questions. But I think right now that's about all I have to cover.
Thank you so much, Sunya. I am going to, can you go ahead and give me back control?
I sure can.
Okay.
I'm doing that right now.
And if you have questions, go ahead and start putting them into the question box. I just have one more poll to do with you all, and then we're going to get to the Q&A. Did you send that over yet, Sunya?
I did. Let's see. Okay. Okay, here we go.
Okay. So, show my screen. Okay, everybody. Thanks, Sunya. I'm sure that everyone learned a lot more than they probably imagined they could. Let's do this last poll, and then we'll do, okay, some Q&A. Let's launch this poll. Having completed this training, how much more inspired or likely are you to pursue or consider entrepreneurship? Okay. So almost 70% of you have voted. Very good. I guess you did a good job, Sunya. All right. So we're almost at 80%. Anybody else want to share with us your thoughts now that the training is winding down? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because I do want to do some Q&A. Let me go ahead and close it and share it with you. Well, we have a high percentage of people who are now really all committed to entrepreneurship, and a nice percentage of people who want to learn more and who are much more likely to pursue it. That's great. Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Okay, so before we get to the Q&A, let me just tell you briefly about financial social work, that our curriculum is taught at the University of Kentucky and has been since 2011. We're in the Encyclopedia of Social Work. Our website is financialsocialwork.com. Our certification is self-studies and self-paced, and our students have 6 months to complete it. And there is an online exam that students have 2 weeks to finish. The cost is only $495, and National NASW awards 20 CEs to our graduates. Okay, so we'll leave that up and let's see what we have in the way of questions. Okay. This is a good chance for everybody to get their questions answered. Can we see the IRS publication slide again? I would have to turn that over to Sunya. Sunya, can you repeat the numbers on those IRS publications for the people in the audience?
334, 463, 535.
Okay. Um, okay. Let's see what else we have. How do you begin to write a business plan?
You know, there are some really good templates online. In fact, there's one that's called, I think, the one-page business plan. Don't make it too difficult, but just get some ideas about where you want to go. But there's lots and lots of information online.
That is the wonderful thing about starting a business now as opposed to years ago. Someone wants to know, Sunya, if you would recommend legal insurance for business owners.
Absolutely. But if you're just starting out, you want to keep your expenses low. Talk with your tax professional about it. And also it depends on the kind of liability and risk kind of business that you have as well.
How do you take care of medical insurance?
I actually am able to write mine off because it's a business expense.
What would you recommend? Would you have our listeners speak with their financial advisors about that?
Absolutely.
Now, I'm not sure if you'll know the answer to this. How does having your business, it says this, but I'm guessing it's having a business, affect you when you sell your home in terms of profit? Can you keep all the profit from selling your home, or just the percentage you don't claim?
Yeah, that is the specific question that I would talk to my tax professional about.
Have you ever engaged your business with a nonprofit? If so, how did you begin? I'm not sure what that means. What do you think?
Do they mean having a cooperative relationship with a nonprofit?
If that person wants to clarify that a little more. I live in a rural community. There is a nonprofit that seems to have the grant funding cornered. How do I create a business with different services, even though we both will be in the human service field?
That's a great opportunity for collaboration with that organization. I would talk with that organization's founder, see what their needs are, and see if you can fill any gaps or niches, because the great thing about funding is they are really looking for collaboration now.
So someone says, I have an EIN for my business. What would be my next step? But she also says that it's a nonprofit.
Well, a nonprofit is a business, and you can certainly set up your retirement through your own nonprofit. You know, a nonprofit can give you some advantages that it all depends on what you want to establish. But you know, your nonprofit is a business.
This is a great question. And there's not a simple or easy answer. Do you have advice for balancing a full-time job and along with family obligations while starting a business? Sunya, you can answer it, and then I will.
Ha ha ha! That's the question, though, isn't it? The question to me comes down to support, because anytime you're pursuing a dream or something that's really driving you, there's going to be some friction from your family and other people who think that they should have time that you should be devoting to them. I mean, you know, that's going to be part of the decisions that you have to make. It's worth it, but you know, I would say if you have a partner, I would talk with my partner, see what kind of support I have, what kind of feelings the family has about it. Ultimately, it's going to be your decision and your dream, but you do want to see where the friction might be.
It isn't easy. Sunya knows it isn't easy. Any of you in the audience know it isn't easy. And it takes, you know, certainly the skills that Sunya talked about in her second slide. And since most of these questions coming in are coming from women, although there were some from gentlemen, Um, we as women are people pleasers, and we have to accept that we can't please everyone. And so it's heavily about time management. You need
Mm-hmm.
to really focus on how you manage your time. Someone here has getting in the door as a nonprofit. Someone else asked about creating a sober house for females. Do I register with the state and my city too before I find a house? Here's the bottom line, everybody. I too am a serial entrepreneur. I've owned several
Mm-hmm.
businesses through the years, and I understand that it's not simple. You know, we try to simplify this to help you understand the connection to the skills you already have and to lay out the benefits of having a business on a part-time or full-time basis. Certainly from the part-time, you can possibly ease into the full-time. And I think maybe, Sunya, this is another webinar. We do another session to this next year. But in every city, um, and in every state, SCORE, 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 probably score.org,
Mm-hmm.
helps people start businesses. These are retired executives. I think SCORE stands for the Senior Corps of Retired Executives. And that's
Right.
absolutely, it's free. You can make an appointment, meet with a mentor, and get a lot of your questions answered, and find out how to proceed,
Right.
whether it's a business or a not-for-profit. They can help you. Here in Asheville, North Carolina, where I live, there is also a not-for-profit organization that offers, I believe it's an 8-week course. And as you go week by week, by the time you're finished, you have completed your own business plan. And so there are organizations out there that can help you and will help you. If you have further questions that you think we can answer, you can send them to me. I can pass them on to Sunya. I can try to help you with them. I do want to thank.
Uh,
Go ahead,
and
Sunya.
your and check with your community colleges too, because they
Yes,
usually have really great certification programs that or refreshers or I mean, and they're usually very, very low cost.
excellent point. So thanks everybody for joining us. We did our best to give you some great information to keep you motivated, get you motivated, and we will see you back here in a few weeks at our next free webinar. Have a great 4th of July while you're at it. Okay, bye now, and thank you
Bye.
so much, Sunya.
Thank you, Rita and Dorley, and thanks everyone.
Thanks so much, Sonia.